The topic today is area approximations, and the question reads, the figure below shows the graph of y is equal to 2x plus 3 and y is equal to negative 2x squared plus 3x plus 4. So we have the figures shown. Determine the coordinates of Q, the intersection of the two graphs, and then part B, find the exact area of the shaded part. Beginning with part A, we are to determine the coordinates of point Q. Point Q is the intersection of the line, straight line, and the curve. So the point of intersection simply means that the two are equal at that point. So that means you can equate 2x plus 3 is equal to y, and that should also be equal to negative 2x squared plus 3x plus 4. So from this, we can get the value of x. So we'll bring the right hand side to the left hand side so that we have 2x squared minus 3x minus 4 plus 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. And that simplifies to 2x squared minus x minus 1 is equal to 0. We will solve for x in this quadratic equation by factor method, and therefore we look for two factors such that the product will be equivalent to the product of 2, which is the coefficient of x squared, and the constant term, so that is negative 2. And the sum should be the coefficient of x, and that is negative 1. So the two factors are, so we have negative 2 and positive 1. So this implies that this equation will be expressed as 2x squared minus 2x. So in place of negative x, we write minus 2x plus 1x, which is x, minus 1 is equal to 0. And then we will now factorize by grouping. So we have, for this first pair, 2x is common, so factor it out, 2x into x minus 1. Plus here 1 is common, so you factor it out into x minus 1 is equal to 0. So that means 2x plus 1 into x minus 1 is equal to 0. So from here we can now get the values of x. 2x plus 1 is equal to 0 simply implies that x is equal to negative a half or negative 0.5, and x minus 1 is equal to 0 implies that x is positive 1. So when x is negative 0.5, y will become, so we substitute the value of x in any of these equations. So we can either use the equation of the straight line or the equation of the curve. So we'll go by that which makes work easier for us. So let's use y is equal to 2x plus 3. So doing our substitution correctly, y should be 2, and that implies that the point in question here is negative 0.5, 2. We also have the other possibility when x is positive 1. What is y? So substituting the same way, realize that y is positive 5. So that implies that the point here is 1, 5. So from the 2 points and the graph that you are given, point Q must have its x coordinate as a positive value. If it were negative, then it would be on this other side. So that means that this point here will be ignored, because this point must be on this other side of the graph. So we are going to pick this point as point Q. So that implies that Q is 1, 5. Finally, for part B, find the exact area of the shaded part. In order to get the area of the shaded part, we have the curve and the straight line and the y-axis enclosing the shaded region. So we are going to get the area under the curve, and then we subtract the area under the straight line. And if the straight line would be above the curve, then we'll do it the other way, area under the line minus the curve. And here, because the curve is above, so we are going to subtract. The curve is above between 0 and here, between 0 and 1. So the x coordinate for point Q we had gotten as 1. So between 0 and 1, the curve is above while the straight line is below. So in order to make work easier here, first we are going to get the area by integrating within the limits, so 0 to 1. But for this case, we'll have the equation of the curve minus the equation of the straight line because the curve is above. So we have negative 2x squared plus 3x plus 4 minus equation of the curve, or rather the straight line, which is 2x plus 3. And we'll integrate with respect to x. This simplified will be negative 2x squared plus x plus 1 dx. So integrating, we will have, so integrating this first part, we have negative 2x cubed over 3 plus x squared over 2 plus x plus the constant c, and this is done within the limits 0 to positive 1. So substituting the limits, we'll have negative 2 over 3 into 1 cubed plus 1 squared over 2 plus 1. I don't want to include c because in the end it will still disappear, minus 0 substituted here makes this 0, here 0, here 0, so that means the next bracket will be 0. And upon calculation, we'll realize that this gives us 5 over 6. So that is the exact area of the shaded part. Remember, if you express this into decimals, you'll be tempted to round off, and when you round off, that will cease to be the exact area. So the exact area is better expressed as a fraction, which is more exact. Otherwise, that is it for this question. I want to thank you for your patience until this time. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.